Hello, everyone. This is Amai, and this is not like a boyfriend audio thing. So if you're not interested, this is your, you know, warning to click off, I guess. But I don't know what I'm going to title this, but basically, I wanted to talk about this because I think about it sometimes and it feels very silly. So, what I want to talk about today is the things you would do to try to woo someone, perhaps, right? So, quickly, just to ask everyone a question, have you been in love before? And I'm going to assume a lot of you would answer yes. If you haven't, you know, you might not relate to what I'm going to talk about today, but you can probably laugh along, I suppose. But the next question is for those who have been in love before, how far would you go to get that person to try to like you back? And I get there's like a level of, you know, for a relationship, at least to me, I feel I've never been in a relationship. I just want to make that very clear for those who don't know. I'm perpetually single, trapped in the seventh dimension of friend zone. So, I don't have any like concrete, evidence to prove how relationships should work. And obviously, that is also subjective. But I feel like if you are changing a lot about yourself to get someone to like you to the point where you're kind of like a completely different person, I would personally feel like that's not exactly like a really good relationship unless those changes are subjectively for, well, objectively for good. Like if you've got some sort of, you know, thing going on, maybe, confidence issues or like stuff like gambling, I guess, and your partner's able to, and you're able to change yourself for your partner by quitting like gambling or whatever. That I think that's fine, but there's some things that I don't really think is like what you should do to get someone to like you back. But that's what I'm talking about myself isn't that serious. What it is was a time. Actually, I might add another embarrassing story. It's not really for someone specifically, but it's a story I've brought up on streams, I believe. Well, all of this I'm talking about today, I've brought up on streams. Just I wanted to make a video talking about it because it just feels so silly. Now, I play the guitar. I'm not bocce the rock level good. Um, I haven't taken classes in a while, and I don't really practice too often anymore. But I do play the guitar, and I used to play the guitar pretty frequently. I started learning the ukulele at around 8 years old, I believe, and I started playing the acoustic guitar at around 10ish, 9, 10ish, I think. It's been a long time. It's been more than a decade. Jesus Christ. But thing is, right? I like back then when I first started playing, I wasn't doing any advanced techniques. I was just learning simple chords, right? The basics, A, or not, like I guess A, C, F, G, like A minor, that type of stuff. And um at the class I was taking to, learn how to play the guitar, I was given the opportunity to play different songs of my choice and also my teacher's choice every once in a while to, you know, enjoy playing the guitar, because I feel like for instruments, other than learning like theory and other complex shenanigans, you also have to enjoy it by, performing songs you like. Now, I think I would save my embarrassing performance stories for another time. If you're interested in hearing that, let me know. It's not anything crazy. Like you've probably heard crazier stories from other content creators on the platform or from your peers or even yourself, but it was mentally damaging for me to say the least. I haven't performed since, but shit, I forgot where I was in my story. Oh yeah, so that was also a time where I had a crush on a girl, and it's like 10 years old, you're not really, you don't know that much, right? A lot of what I knew about romance came from observation, right? Like family, like seeing how my aunts and uncles, my dad and my mom interact with each other, couples I see just by going outside, couples in media. Like, well, I didn't really watch anime back then, but like movies, like TV shows, like that type of stuff. So I didn't really understand how it really worked. So it was like actually basic elementary knowledge, and a lot of it is probably misconception too, and a lot of generalized ideas. And the specific one I wanted to talk about was when I had learned a song that the hold on, my I just had a brain fart. This girl I liked. Let's start from there. This girl I liked, she liked listening to One Direction, and so I I decided to learn some One Direction songs to play and sing to her, right? Yeah, just thinking about telling the story is actually just embarrassing. But yeah, I brought it up to my teacher because it wasn't like I was super like deep into learning the guitar. It was still early-ish periods where I haven't really learned that much. But thankfully, the One Direction songs, like their chords are pretty basic. Like you're not using any power chords or anything crazy in it. There's no. I'm not sure if this is the right word, and I am worried that YouTube will have an issue with me saying it. But it's basically the technique where you have your fingers go really quick on the strings. I want to say it's finger, but like I'm not gonna finish that word. You can guess what it is, but I'm a little worried I'll get into trouble for saying that word. But basically, it wasn't anything complex, right? It's just simple progression. It was like the basicest of basic chords. And so when my teacher had like the sheet, the chord sheet, he gave it to me. I was like, I can do this. He was like, he was like, where is this coming from? And obviously I didn't answer because I was a little embarrassed. But I learned it either way, right? Um, I don't remember now, at least, if she had like a specific favorite one. I just remember. So, okay, so another thing about me is I am actually. This is so sad, but. mm, uh, okay, well, when I liked someone, right, I would try to get to know what they like. Um, and try to immerse myself in what they like so I can understand them better. I've done that for different crushes I've had in the past. God, it's so pathetic. It's so cringe. Jesus. But I did that, right? I did that. And One Direction is just one of them, and it's like the cringiest one out of them all. So, that's the story I'll be sharing right now. Um, I learned how to play, I think, Live While We're Young, One Thing, and also a Drag Me Down, which I have done covers on my channel, I believe, like really short ones. And it was crazy because I was, I was in contact with her pretty often. Like back then, we had phones. Like it wasn't like Stone Age type of shit. It was pretty modern day. Okay, so we had phones, and I would text her and stuff. Um, this is a side note thing, but I'd never used Musically before. But she had a Musically where she would do Musically things, and I made an account to follow her. She knew about this. Okay, I did tell her. Okay, this is not like me being. Well, it is weird, but I did. Well, I did talk to her about it because I was like, "What is this?" Because I didn't really know what Musically was. It's not my, you know, field of expertise. All I really watched was fucking Call of Duty, Black Ops 3, and other Call of Duty and Minecraft. So, well, I guess and some other stuff too, but not that type of. Oh, I hit my mic. I don't know if you'll hear that, but it's not that type of content. So I didn't know what it was. So I asked her, and then I made an account and followed her. Okay, it's so cringe. But yeah. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I learned the songs, and I wouldn't say I was bad at playing them. I thought I did pretty good, but you know, I wasn't really I don't really have that much confidence in myself, and it's only gotten worse up till now. There's a reason why I stream as a VTuber and not an actual person, and there's also a reason why I don't really do any live performances anymore, because I have no balls. Basically, I am actually a coward. I'm just gonna admit that right now. I am a coward. I have like no self confidence at all. Sometimes I have like little bursts of ego where I sit there. I'm like, yeah. I'm that dude. Like, this thing I did. Hell yeah, it looks amazing. It's awesome. But most of the time, I'm a deflated mess, right? So yeah, back then I didn't have that much confidence either, but I still had the confidence to at least talk to people and talk to, well, my crush and other women. Nowadays I tend to struggle with that a lot. You can hear me rant more about that in another video that I posted like last year or something. But yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. But I still wanted to perform because back then I had heard a few rumors that there were other guys who liked her, and I was like, okay, I'm cooked. Because here's another thing. I don't know if this is like a straight truth, um, or whatever, but I've always had this belief, well, and I still kind of do, even though there's a lot of like people I've seen that clearly disprove that belief. But I used to believe, again, because of media and stuff, that girls like tall, like chiseled, toned guys. I was not tall. I'm 175 ish, and I only reached that height when I was like, I want to say 14, 15 ish. Maybe it's been a while. But back then, I was actually so short. I was like shorter than everybody. I was shorter than all the girls as well. Basically, it was actually pathetic. It was so sad. And it was like a complex. I hated it. I actively did sports back then, a lot of sports. I dipped my toe in different sports, and I did commit to quite a few, but I never reached that height at that age. But some of the dudes that I heard that liked her too were a lot taller than I was, and I was like, okay, this is cooked. I have to, try to do something else that maybe I have some confidence in, at least something I might have like an edge over the other guys, or else I'm fighting like a war that's been lost already, right? So I was like, okay, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. And I also told her, I was like, I'm actually learning some of these songs that you like from from the group that you like, and I can't remember what she said. It's been so long, and these like, traumatic because so I'm like trying to block them out a little bit, but I was like, yeah. And the thing is, I never even actually performed it to her. I may have sent snippets of me practicing, but I don't really think I actually ended up performing it at all, because the guitar playing was all right. I mean, again, basic chords. It's not difficult. It's not challenging. It's simple. One of you could probably learn the guitar, basic stuff in like within a week or even 3 days and play those songs. It's really simple. But I cannot sing. I cannot sing. There are notes and stuff that I cannot quite hit, and because my nose is perpetually blocked and it's been that way for like the last decade or so, I can't really breathe that well. So when it comes to singing, I'm risking death almost. So I wasn't really confident in being able to perform and be cool, because honestly, I kind of felt like I wasn't cool. And it's still something that haunts me now, but obviously like at this age, I feel like it's pretty difficult for me to find that confidence again and have like a complete switch of my mindset. I feel like if I wanted that change, it probably would have been a lot easier to start at a younger age where your ideas and all that aren't really solidified yet. But yeah, that's basically how it went for me. And so yeah, I never performed. I did tell her that I liked her. She knew for a while. Okay, so the thing is, when I like someone, I usually tell them pretty early on, like after I start liking them. I don't know if that's a good idea. If any of you are, romance strategists or something, let me know. Give me like a review, 1 out of 10. From 1 to 10, 10 being good plan, one being terrible plan. I don't know, but I do end up confessing to the people that I like. Evidently, it has not worked. I have been single forever, as I've said already. But I did tell her, and she didn't feel the same. That's fine. Happens. I'm. This is gonna sound really like cringe, but I am a normal person, despite what you might hear me say on stream. Okay, I am a normal person, guys. I am able to take rejection just fine. Okay, by just fine, I mean like I started posting black and white pictures of myself, wearing a hood and like a face mask. So, that's some pure unrefined cringe. But I don't lose my mind. Okay, so like I don't attack people. Like I keep the pain to myself and just hope I don't lose my mind too much over it. I hope I don't implode from the pain and the sadness. But yeah, it did hurt a lot, and it's still something that it's still in my head. Sometimes I wonder if I remember things wrong. Maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. Maybe it wasn't as embarrassing. I mean, to be fair, again, I didn't perform it, so like it's not like anybody really knew. It's all kind of just in my head, but it's actually just embarrassing to think about. So, I can pick up the guitar again and learn some like romantic songs. I did some acoustic covers of romantic songs, I think, like a year-ish ago. And I do think I could do it again if I pushed myself to, but as of this moment, I think I would safely say I am never gonna try to perform a song for a girl again. Or I mean, for anyone, like anyone for that matter, I wouldn't really do it. But for someone I like, I don't think I would do it because it's actually cringe and it's actually so embarrassing. I mean, I didn't even do it, and it's just embarrassing already. Like only God knows how much worse it would have been if I actually did perform it to her. And besides, like, when would I even have when would I have had the chance to actually perform it to her, right? So clearly, I didn't really think that through. I'm an idiot. It is what it is. But I'm just saying, I am actually like there's a term that's been, I don't know how long it's been around, but I've been seeing it a lot, called girl failure. I'm actually like, dude, I don't know what's the equivalent. I'm boy failuring like romance, like completely. I've fumbled everything I've ever done. I cannot talk to women. I get sent straight to the friend zone. It is what it is. I don't even know. I can't think of a word, but comic relief. I am a comic relief character in a rom-com anime. Hold on, it's getting a little hot in my room. So, what is the takeaway from this? Not much. Just if your crush is doing that, if someone's doing that for you, they probably like you. And if you don't like them back, that's also fine. Try to let them down easy because it hurts a lot. It's like actually painful, And yeah, I'll talk about this other story. I don't really mind. So back then, I said this earlier, but I used to be pretty active with sports and competitive sports. I compete and stuff. So I was fit. I wasn't tall. Again, I didn't really hit that like power spike until I was like 14, 15, which was unfortunate, honestly, because I think that was when the pandemic started. So I didn't really get to like, reveal my true form, as Joker would say in Persona 5. But I was toned. Okay, I was kind of, not to brag. Okay, not to brag, but I was kind of toned, and we had swimming. My school would have swimming units for us. Whether or not you know how to swim or not, you get put into different lanes. It doesn't really matter if you know how to swim or not. You get taught anyway. And I was a pretty good swimmer. I swam competitively. I don't compete too often, but I'm part of the competitive team. I'm a little bitch, so I'm afraid of competition. I fumble under pressure. I think I might make a video talking about that actually, because it's just kind of interesting to me, because I can do fine, but like when there's like pressure of competition, I troll. I'm a griefer. But basically, yeah. So those scenes in anime. So this is when I started watching anime too. And so, yeah, this is really sad. So you know how in movies, anime and stuff, you'd have those scenes at the beach, and I'm not talking about like the girls at the beach. This is about the dudes this time. You have like the characters come out of, like the water, and like you got the abs showing, like sunlight coming through, like beaming in. You got like the little sparkles and stuff, and it's like, wow, ikemen da yo ne, doki doki desho type of shit. I kid you not, I tried to emulate that at the pool. It was terrible. It makes me, it hurts me on the inside to even talk about it. But yeah, it was rough. I got out the pool like, trying to look cool. I even like leaned, I guess like I don't even know, like an angle at a pose. Yeah, in a pose where like you would see the abs and they would be more defined. And yeah, results zero. I had another classmate who's also a really good swimmer. We're we were friends. We don't really talk anymore. We haven't talked in a long time, but he would get compliments, right? He would get compliments like, "Oh wow, Tone, Jack, like that the abs look good, bro." I got none of that, and that was so embarrassingly painful. I just got up like, "Wow, that was a crazy." Those were some crazy laps back there, and I sat back down on like the chairs, I guess. Yeah, and that today is probably, I would say, the most embarrassing thing I've ever done. I've had bad moments, but that one has to be the worst because it was unironically, genuinely like me being desperate to seek out some sort of validation from people, and it just completely didn't work, and instead someone else got it, and I didn't even know whether to cry or laugh, but I shrugged it off like, it is what it is. It's fine. And to this day, I have not forgotten about that. And yeah, I mean, I like to gaslight myself. I like to lie to myself pretty often to make myself feel better. And my head canon, actually, my cope is, there were people who actually thought I was cool. This is so sad. Back in middle school, high school, whatever, and yeah, even at uni, there are people who find me cool, but they're just too shy to tell. Yeah, they're just too shy to tell me that they think I'm cool. That's what I like to tell myself. That's probably not true. I'm pretty confident to say that that is factually incorrect, scientifically, logically, mathematically, historically, literally, it is just not correct. But it's a nice little lie I like to tell myself once in a while to make myself feel a little bit better, just a little bit, just enough to get through the night. And yeah, very very miserable existence, very pathetic and very cringe. Have I done anything as embarrassing like that ever since? Absolutely not. I've toned down the cringe to zero. The only cringe stuff I do now is streaming, where I make stupid jokes and stuff, but it's for content, so it's fine. You know what I mean? It's like business now, so it's not that bad. But like, yeah, it's just, God, I don't know. All jokes aside, though, I will say experiences like that um definitely have done a lot of damage on my confidence. I know I said I just shrugged it off or I walked it off or whatever, but it does hurt to think about. And I know it's kind of silly to think about something from like years and years ago and have that still like become like like be painful, but I don't know, I just can't help it. It's just, God, why? But yeah, that happened, and yeah, I mean, I that's all I really wanted to talk about today. This has gone a lot longer than I thought it would because I just kept bringing new stuff up. But I just thought it'd be funny to share. You guys probably had a good laugh and thought, "Wow, this guy, this guy is this guy's cringe. This guy's really cringe." And clearly, he has no rizz. And yeah, maybe it was a very huge what is it, like a shock, I guess, like a jarring shock, perhaps, that the guy who makes audios pretending to be suave. Well, not really. I do a lot of shy audios, but a dude who makes audios and content related to, the idea and feeling of love is actually just some guy who cannot do anything right at all. Um, but that's the truth. You know what I mean? You can't let the internet and people's persona. You can't let people's personas deceive you. All right, the truth is the truth. I am a boy failure in romance, completely, utterly, entirely, undisputably, and very accurately. Um, so yeah, if my future partner is listening to this, and you're real, I don't know what part of me you fell in love with, but thank you so much, because without you, I think I'd actually be cooked. There is nobody else that could ever actually pay any attention to me in that aspect. So grassy ass to you too. But yeah, thank you for listening to this pretty long rant. I might do another one soon because I mean I don't really know what I'm gonna talk about. If you guys have any ideas or maybe any stories that you think I might have to share, let me know. I don't really mind sharing like life stories. It's not like they're super personal. I mean, again, like this exact story of being ignored and too bad, too shit to perform for a girl. Like you've probably heard that before. You've probably seen that before. It's nothing. It's nothing new. So yeah. And at the end of the day, again, it's the past. I usually just laugh it off and cope it off as well. But yeah, thank you for listening. If you made it to the end, I appreciate that a lot because I understand that people don't exactly like longer content as much anymore. But hey, you know what? If you don't like it, that's your problem. Screw you. I'm just kidding, but thank you anyways. Bye-bye.